What if the ancient aliens we've been searching for were never aliens at all? What if the gods who descended from the skies, the ones who sparked civilization, were actually us, time travelers from Earth's distant future, reaching back through time to make sure humanity ever existed? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? But what if the evidence has been sitting in plain sight for thousands of years, carved in stone, encoded in sound, and written in clay? Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. In 1994, a farmer in Turkey stumbled upon what looked like a pile of rocks. Buried beneath was Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known temple, 9,600 years before the birth of Christ. That's 6,000 years before Stonehenge, before the pyramids, even before agriculture. Here, hunter-gatherers, people we thought had no cities, no writing, no architecture, somehow lifted and aligned 20-ton stone pillars in perfect circles, carved with foxes, lions, and vultures. There were no houses, no villages, no tools left behind. Just this, a ceremonial masterpiece built by people we thought were still chasing mammoths. So where did the knowledge come from? There are no primitive versions, no early prototypes. Civilization just appears, fully formed, as if someone pressed upload on the human mind. Unless that someone wasn't from the stars, but from the future. Imagine travelers from a distant age, humans like us, but armed with quantum knowledge, stepping back through time after some catastrophe. Maybe they knew civilization needed a spark. Maybe Göbekli Tepe was that spark. A message in stone, a cosmic reboot encoded with geometry and celestial alignment. And then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, the entire site was buried under tons of soil. Not destroyed, buried deliberately, preserved, as if its builders knew it wasn't meant for them. It was meant for us. A time capsule waiting to be rediscovered when we were ready to ask the right questions. 3,000 years later, another anomaly emerges, far away in the Mediterranean. On the small island of Malta stand the megalithic temples, Hagar Kim, Menajdra, and Tarxian. Older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge. Built by Neolithic farmers without metal tools, without wheels, yet aligned with mathematical precision to the rising sun of the solstice. Inside these temples, sound behaves strangely. Low chants vibrate through the air, resonating at 111 Hz, a frequency known today to influence human brainwaves and induce altered states of consciousness. Modern engineers struggle to recreate it, yet these ancient builders shaped stone with acoustic perfection. What if these temples weren't just places of worship, but tools, resonant machines designed to alter the mind, to communicate across dimensions of time? Perhaps the priests who chanted inside weren't praying to gods at all, but listening to echoes, messages from future humans who once spoke through vibration, not voice. And then, 3,000 years after Malta's stones began to hum, civilization itself seems to appear overnight. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians rise, inventing writing, mathematics, astronomy, irrigation, and law almost instantly. Their tablets describe beings called the Anunnaki, those who from the heavens came, who taught humanity everything it needed to survive and prosper. For generations, scholars have dismissed the Anunnaki as myth, as personifications of natural forces. But the Sumerians were clear. These were flesh and blood beings, long-lived, wise, and distinctly human. They mixed their essence with ours. They engineered us. If the Anunnaki were not gods but advanced humans returning from our own distant future, the story changes. They weren't here to enslave us. They were here to preserve us. They knew without intervention, civilization would never reach the point from which they came. They understood genetics. They understood energy. They understood time. To a Bronze Age farmer, they would look like gods. To us, they would look like ourselves. And maybe that was always the point. Because across every era, Göbekli Tepe, Malta, Sumer, the pattern repeats. Sudden explosions of knowledge, monumental architecture that shouldn't exist, a jump in intelligence that no archaeological timeline can explain. Göbekli Tepe gave us geometry before farming, Malta gave us acoustics before physics. Sumer gave us astronomy before telescopes. Each one a reboot, an upgrade, as if civilization itself was receiving periodic software updates from the future. So what if time isn't a straight line? What if it's a loop, a spiral, where the end feeds the beginning, and the beginning feeds the end? If that's true, then history isn't random, it's engineered, and humanity is both the architect and the apprentice. Perhaps every great leap in our story, the birth of writing, the rise of mathematics, the spark of art and science, wasn't divine intervention, but temporal recursion. Us, guiding ourselves across millennia, ensuring the light never goes out. And maybe deep down, we've always sensed it. That's why we search the stars for alien life, not realizing that the intelligence we're looking for might already be within our own reflection. Maybe the proof isn't out there. Maybe it's right here, buried in our oldest stones. If Göbekli Tepe was the classroom, Malta the temple, and Sumer the laboratory, then Earth itself is the experiment. Perhaps our ancestors didn't need rescuing from the stars. Perhaps they were guided by their own descendants, reaching back through time to ensure humanity survived long enough to become them. Look up at the stars tonight. They're not just above us, they're behind us too. They're mirrors of where we've been and echoes of where we're going. Maybe the truth isn't that gods created man. Maybe it's that man created his gods, reflections of what we would one day become. If time is a circle, then someday we'll close it. We'll go back. And we'll teach ourselves once again how to begin. What do you think? Is this the ultimate paradox or the ultimate truth about who we are? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more mysteries. Thank you for watching.